Hello everyone, my name is EVOO. Welcome to Cooking with the Koyas. So glad to see you because today I'm going to share my recipe for sweet and salty chickpea soup. And yes, it is delicious. Let's get started. So in your pot, you're going to want to add, of course, you know it, extra virgin olive oil, enough to generously coat the bottom of your pot because we are going to saute up some garlic and onions. Okay, there we go. Don't be shy with the extra virgin olive oil. Flame goes on medium heat. In goes the garlic. So I have 1 clove of garlic that I have minced. So we're going to add that to the oil. And we're just going to cook this garlic for about 30 seconds. It's been about 30 seconds and all we're doing here with the garlic is just flavoring that olive oil. Look at that nice simmer going there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add 1 large onion that's been sliced and diced. Now you can use any onion that you like. However, if you have a sweet onion like a Vidalia, that would be ideal. But again, this recipe, as long as you have 1 large onion, you're good to go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to mix this all up and saute these onions again on medium heat just until they're nice and soft and translucent. So that'll take a few minutes. We'll just let that slowly cook. While these are sauteing, what we're going to do is prepare some other ingredients. So here I have a ½ cup of chopped up prosciutto that is chopped up into little bits. I also have about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of sweet potato that I have cubed up, again, in small pieces, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch pieces. You want small pieces. And for this recipe, we're going to use 4 tomatoes. I have 4 tomatoes here. Same thing with these. We are going to slice and dice the tomatoes into small pieces, just as we did the prosciutto and the sweet potato. These are looking good, don't you think? They look fantastic. All right, now we can add some spices. So we are gonna add, I have a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme there. So a 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, in that goes. Here I have a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. So we'll just sprinkle that in there. Hard to do left-handed. Okay, and then we have 1 generous tablespoon of paprika. So we get all those in and we're going to mix those together. And to help this along a little bit, we are going to add 1 to 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And I love these containers for tomato paste because you can you keep them in the fridge and you just, as you need, you just add, which is really nice. So that's about 1 tablespoon there. Well, I might as well use it all. That's about 2 tablespoons right there. Time to buy another one. But very, very handy these are. They keep in the fridge. They're perfect. All right. So now all I'm going to do, you want to mix all of these together, incorporate all those flavors, and we're just going to continue to cook this just for about a minute. Just let those flavors get a chance to work some magic together. Now we can add our other ingredients. Let's add there's our chopped prosciutto. You can see I chopped them up in, again, you want small pieces because these are going to go in your soup. They got to fit on your spoon by the time you put everything together between the chickpea and all the other ingredients. So there's the prosciutto. The prosciutto goes in, cubed prosciutto, 1/2 cup. And now we're going to add our 1 pound to 1.5 pounds, again, cubed sweet potato. Okay, and mix those all in. And then we're going to add the 4 chopped tomatoes that we just finished chopping. Oh, there's a piece of potato hiding on me there. All right, so now what you want to do, wooden spoon works great here. Mix all these ingredients, get them all mixed together because you're going to want to cook this now for about 5 minutes. You're going to leave, and the heat's been on medium all this time. We're going to leave it on medium. We're going to cook it at least for 5 minutes, maybe closer to 7 or 8 by the time this comes back up to temperature. But basically you want to make sure everything is mixed in real nicely. And now we're going to continue on medium heat, like I say, for 5 to 8 minutes. And of course, as they're cooking, every minute or so, just give it a stir. So once again, while this is cooking, we're not going to waste any time. I've got some escarole here that we're going to prepare and cut up. So what you're going to need is about a half a head of escarole, and use the greens because the part below will be nice for salad. You can keep that for salad. So take about a half a head of escarole. You can see it's all the green stuff. This one with the nice white inners will make for a great salad. Okay, so I'll put that aside for salad. This we're just going to chop up, and we're going to give this a wash and get it ready for the next step. It's been 8 minutes. This is looking good and flavorful. Time to add our chickpeas. So I have here 2 cans of chickpeas, 540 milliliters or 19-ounce cans. So that's the size I'm using. And I just drained them. Drain and dump. There we go. 2 cans of chickpeas. Same thing, let's just mix these all together. Get all those beautiful ingredients cooking. Okay. All we're doing here is just mixing them together. There we go. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is we are going to add 2 liters of chicken broth. And I have been heating up some chicken broth. Again, as I was preparing, I've got 2 liters of actually homemade chicken broth right here. So I'm going to add those 2 liters of chicken broth. All right, now that the chicken broth is in, there we go. It's nice and hot. We want to bring this to a boil. But once the hot chicken broth is in, now we can also add our washed escarole. So the escarole goes in now as well. Put everything in. And what we're going to do is we're going to want to bring this to a boil. Okay, so far as you notice, we have not added any salt. There is a little bit of salt. The prosciutto is a bit salty, so there's a little bit of salt there. But what you do at the very end, just do a taste and add salt to taste. And in fact, if you're a vegetarian, of course, all you have to do for this recipe is just omit the prosciutto. However, I must admit, the prosciutto is one of the key ingredients and adds an enormous amount of flavor. All right, so we are now going to, I can bring it up to high. I'm going to bring it up to high just to bring it to a boil. We now have a boil going. Okay, that's very nice. We'll give a stir. Oh yeah. So now all we have to do, I can drop the heat back down to, say, medium. We still want it to boil. So now what we want to do is have it boil for at least 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. So I think because of the size of this, we're going to give it closer to 30 minutes with the lid on. Let it boil. And in the meanwhile, in keeping with the theme, I'm going to go and wash all those utensils that I dirtied up and stay on top of the kitchen. It's been boiling nicely now for 30 minutes. I already added my salt earlier. Oh yeah, this soup is good to go. Time to shut it down. And let's get it plated and let's have a beautiful taste test. So I probably should wait a little longer to get it to cool down a bit, but you know me, I can't wait. So let's get into this. Oh boy. That is one hearty, healthy soup right there. Oh yes. Take a look at that. I'm gonna love this. A little bit of everything in here. Absolutely delicious. The reason I call it my sweet and salty chickpea soup is because you get the sweetness from the potato and the saltiness from the prosciutto. What a combination. If you get an opportunity, folks, I hope you give this recipe a try. It is fantastic. Thanks for joining me on Cooking with the Koyas. And until next time, salud and bon appetito.